Hi, everyone.
Hey.
I'm Alicia.
And I'm Meredith.
And this is It's About the Pasta, a Vanderpump Rules podcast, Season 5, Episode 16. Great. This is an episode that lives in my head rent-free. It was so nice to see again.
I'm glad
I love
we're
it
on a
so
trip.
much.
I mean, trips are great, but this one has so many
Iconic.
layers. It's just
So
insane.
Iconic. Okay, before we get into the episode, check us out on the A&M Podcast Network. We have this podcast. We have Summer is Fun, a Summer House podcast, which doubles as Winter is Fun, a Winter House podcast, and also covers Martha's Vineyard. So that's just the spinoffs. And then we also have One Season Wonders. Please be sure to rate, review, subscribe. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Vanderpasta. Join our Patreon, patreon.com/Vanderpasta. Let me tell you what you can get. For $1 a month, you get all of our fun pre-shows where Meredith and I and sometimes Sarah talk about whatever the hell we want because it's our show and we deserve it. And also you get access to any episodes we record early, including this one. This was years in advance.
Years at that rate.
This will never be released to the public at this point.
At this rate, it is. If people are listening to it, but Vanderpump's hard. There's so many episodes, so it takes us a while.
Never stops. It never stops getting renewed.
No.
So you could have gotten this years probably in advance on the Patreon, but who knows really. For $2 a month, you get access to everything I just mentioned. Plus, when we go back and watch old episodes like we're doing right now, we will record an after show to talk about any Bravo news because we don't want spoilers on this podcast. So we do it on our Patreon. And also, we will say your name on the podcast. So, bear with me, please. I'm in a different environment. I'm not used to this, but we'll do it.
I believe in you.
Thank you, too. Chris, Darby, D, Gabriella, Jackie, Jamie, Kirsten, Casey, Kelsey, Chrissy, Lauren, Michelle, Sarah L, Sarah R, Tierney, Tonette, Tracy, Allison, Emily, Gina, Isabella, Jennifer, Jessie, Leanne, Lisa, Rio, Robin, Taylor, and Tara.
Woohoo!
Alphabetical order, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you all so much. And then for $5 a month, you get access to everything I just mentioned. Plus, when we have live shows, which is always, if you know Bravo, because they never sleep there. I don't know what has happened. I will post in the Patreon and ask for your questions, comments, opinions, concerns, whatever, honestly. And you will give your thoughts and we will read them on the podcast. What else? I pick a patron of the episode. I was like, what am I missing? Okay, so this week's patron of the episode, because we have 1,000 episodes and so many lovely patrons, so I'm trying to get through them all. We are going to go with Casey.
Woohoo!
Casey's very big in the community, always commenting. We so appreciate Casey so much. So thank you. So this Vanderpump Rules episode, in the depths of who knows when it'll be released to the real public, is yours.
Yeah, but she
Enjoy
gets it early because she's a patron.
She does. Because she's amazing. Okay, great. Let's just get in this episode, should we?
Yes, I'm excited.
Guys, it's also a morning episode, which we haven't done in a long time, but I feel like we're at our most chaotic when we wake up.
That is very accurate. Like, the coffee starts hitting now for me, and so I'm at my prime, weirdly. I feel like it's a slow start, but then it just hits so much different.
It hits somewhere in the middle of the episode.
Also, I will say this episode's pre-show was epic, and so we're just rolling with that energy.
We're on a high. Plus, this episode, so good. Let's just get into it.
True.
So, previously on Vanderpump Rules, we're going to New Orleans for the bachelorette parties. The boys are going to do drag. Katie and Tom are trying not to fight. Jax apologized to Stassi, but not to Brittany. Katie feels like her issues are being thrown in her face. Great. It doesn't give us a lot, but this episode, so much happens.
True.
So, we're in New Orleans. The crew is waking up. Jax farts because he drank half of New Orleans last night. So Brittany reminds Jax that he cried, and Brittany says he should apologize to her for being, mean Jax
to her
towards her.
Yeah, he apologized for Stassi getting Jax, but now it's Brittany's turn for an apology.
Jax, though, doesn't understand because he always gets punished, whether he's the good guy or the bad guy towards his exes. He's always punished.
I get that perspective. I do think Brittany needs to, separate this apology from her own.
Yes. Or, bring it up in the moment that she's, mad at Jax.
Yeah. I think he's always a bit delayed with apologies, and so, which sucks for Brittany, but, hey, yours will come in, 3 years.
Hey, remember season 5? Now it's season 8, and I'll apologize
It's
for my
time.
behavior then. Yeah,
It's
for
time.
sure. Okay, so Jax doesn't understand, or no, I just said that. Brittany, though, is like, hey, can you just be nice to me? And Jax is like, listen, Brittany, we're kicking a dead horse right now. We've just got to stop, which is not the saying because he's a fucking moron, but you know. But Jax, he wakes up, he gets out of bed, and he holds his penis because that's what he loves to do.
You know what? Start the day off right,
Hobbies.
Jax. You know, get your day going.
We love hobbies.
Mine's coffee, yours is holding your dick.
It happens. So Katie slept in her bed while Tom slept in the other room on the couch.
This is a horrible sign.
He wakes up and he goes into Katie's bed and he's like, hey, Bubba, remember when you were mean to me? Can you apologize? And Katie's like, I'm not going to say I'm sorry.
Okay, really quick though, because we last episode left off with Katie like being mad at Pat O'Brien's and kind of like storming
at
off.
Sandoval.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I was like, huh.
What happened?
What happened?
So they both tell us they were fucking hammered. Around 4:30 a.m., we get a picture of Katie smoking a cig, which is one of my favorite bits on the show. So they go back to the hotel on foot, which I don't think was too long a walk, but long if you're after drinking a whole night and you're in heels, maybe.
I will say also, I don't know where they're staying, but if you're staying near the French Quarter, everything is walkable. It's definitely annoying to walk home. But New Orleans is dangerous at night. Like, you should always stay in groups. If you stay in groups, you'll be, like, pretty okay.
It sounds like they were in a group. There was and there were boys. There were boys in this group.
But the way Katie's saying it, I'm wondering if they're staying a little bit like further away than I would stay, and so like the walk is more annoying, but still doable.
Yeah. So Katie says she didn't feel safe, so she wanted to take a car home, but Tom says she screamed that at them and lashed out towards him, which I'm assuming Tom and the other men in the group were like, no.
Or like, hey, calm down. Or it's probably one of those things where when you say like, hey, chill out, like, and people are like, that doesn't help me relax, you know?
Yeah, I get it. Because if I feel if I'm drunk and I get something in my head, I want to do that thing. So if I think car, I would love a car. Let's get a car.
Will say being a woman and feeling unsafe and being a man feeling unsafe is different. I have been in a moment where not like walking home unsafe, but like I was in a bar where like all these guys started taking their shirts off and I was like, I don't feel comfortable anymore. And my cousin was like, why? Guy cousin. And I was like, you are so not aware of like what it is being a woman in America. I was like, this freaks me out. Like I was like, I'm scared to go to the bathroom. And he was like, oh, it's not dirty. And I was like, that's not what I'm saying. I'm scared to walk past all these guys shirtless. I don't want to go by myself. Energy does not feel good. So I bet the guys were like, no, we're fine. We're fine. We're fine. And Katie's like, I don't feel fine. You don't get it.
Yes. So I do get that. I'd love to see a map of where they're staying and where they were. Because if it's a 10-minute walk, Katie, we're not going to call a car. Yeah. But if it's a 20-minute walk, we're calling
a car. Yeah, I know. That's what I want to know. Like, where are you? I wish we had like a map of them and where they were, or like around where they were, like the bar they were at. Because that would help me decide if she's crazy or not. But like if the guys had more reasoning, you'd be like, no.
But they could just give me more information. We had a 20-minute walk ahead of us. We had a 10-minute walk ahead of us. They're literally... Tom's making it sound like the hotel was right down the block. Yeah. Katie's making it sound like it was across state lines. Yeah. So I don't know where we're going. But either way, they fight. They were fighting last night. They're fighting now about them fighting last night. So these two, they're getting married, please remember. So... we go to the French Quarter. The girls are going out for a brunch, a lunch, whatever. Kristen tells everyone at the table how shitty Tom Schwartz was last night because even Carter was mad at him. Which I was like, this again doesn't help me though. What's the situation? Where are we going?
I know.
Was it the way he talked to Katie? But how long was the walk? Was Carter willing to walk?
That's the thing.
Was Kristen willing to walk?
Was Carter annoyed that, like, was Carter one of the guys saying like, oh, it's not that big of a deal? And then whenever they started yelling, now... he like thinks I don't know.
I have questions.
I need more from these people. Also, I want to put in here. I have gone to brunch at this exact place and sat exactly where they're sitting for a bachelorette.
Oh my god, amazing! Did you think of this?
Though. Yes, I think about this No, not like when I was in it, but I didn't realize it was the same place until I saw it again here.
Oh my god, amazing! Yeah. Okay, Brittany also brings up how Jax was crying last night, and Stassi apologizes to Brittany. She's like, that was so fucking weird. I was on a different one last night. I'm so sorry I made Jax apologize. Then we cut to a swamp tour with the boys and Ariana, because Ariana's a groomsman. So
I'm glad she's with
also
them.
She also wants to see some fucking gators, so she's like, I'm pumped.
Hey, she grew up in Florida. Like, she probably is, like, used to this stuff.
She's wild, yeah. So Schwartz is scared of animals, but this is like his immersion therapy, so he's just gonna do it. He's also very drunk. Schwartz is, even if someone didn't even say it, you could tell this man is schwasty.
I feel like
Schwartz.
people's alcohol, like drinking, like should trigger more thoughts, and not out of judgment, but be like, hey, I'm concerned, you know? Like, this isn't just, hey, it's 2 a.m. on Bourbon Street and like we've had a day. This is the start of the day and you're already this drunk. Like, there's like stress. I mean, we all know it's Katie and Tom fighting. But
well, that's what Jax says. Jax is like, he's not drinking to have fun. He's drinking because of Katie.
No.
So they do see a gator. Ariana's down to feed this gator. She's having the best time.
Would you feed it?
Maybe I would like throw something in. I don't want it coming up to me.
That's the thing. I don't want to hold it, but I'll like chuck something in, like just
also,
a little bit away.
Question: would you rather be on the swamp tour or at brunch?
From the start, like if I was in Ariana's position where I am a groom and I'm not really besties with these girls, if we're taking it from her position, I would rather be on the swamp tour from the start, like from planning.
Yes.
But as we go on.
Yes.
We'll
we go on. But yeah, hypothetically, right? You're given these 2 options before you know anything.
I would
pick
both.
swamp tour.
Like either
you can only do one.
I know. But I'm just saying if I like got forced into going with the girls that day, like I love brunch.
You're not forced. Hypothetically, you have 2 options.
I would pick the swamp tour with the guys on its head. But I love brunch and I love Cajun food. So like I, as Meredith, am not mad eating that food.
I would pick swamp tour just because I could get brunch any day. But swamp tour?
100%.
I'm down to swamp tour.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, Sandoval, he has like this box of donuts and like he goes to give it to Schwartz and there's a rubber snake in it. Also, rubber snakes in the
that
one looked really real.
I was nervous just watching. I was like, oh my God, that would stress me out.
Yeah, it looked like a real snake. But then there's also ones in the cooler of beers that Schwartz also gets scared of. But he gets really mad because he's like on the edge of the boat. And he's like, why would you do that to me if I was so close to falling in?
That would kind of bother me. Also being like, you're supposed to be this focal point. Like everybody's celebrating you. Like it would kind of make me sad if people antagonized me on my like bachelorette trip.
But they do say this is just Schwartz. This is also just Schwartz. Because even the tour guide fucks with him a little bit. And then Sandoval puts his butt on him.
Like, in a bad spot with Katie. I'm like, we are just really kicking the dead horse, as Jax would say.
We are kicking that dead horse. So then we go back to the French Quarter with the girls. Kristen has bracelets for everyone that she hands out.
This is so chuggy.
I know. It's like bride to be, sexy and single. It's like the Live Strong bracelets too, like that material.
God, so iconic.
So the food comes and Kristen and Sheena hate seafood. So they physically have to walk away, to which Stassi says the anorexics can go off. And I was like, different times.
I will say, at first I was like, Stassi should have known better. But New Orleans is so seafood focused.
Yeah.
It is so hard to enjoy food and not order it at the table. Like, it's obviously easy to order non-seafood dishes because they have like, you know, like rice and beans and like spicy like sausages and things like that, but it's gonna be around. Like, that's their loss, unfortunately.
That's the thing. The fact that they have to physically walk away.
Yeah. Well, at first I was like on Sheena's side because she was like, hey, can this not be in front of me? And I understand that. Like, not everything is for everyone. But the fact that they got up and walked away, I was like, all right, you guys are being a little.
They should have been sat at the end of the table where none of the seafood had to go because they're sitting right next to Katie where she wants the seafood. So it was stupid, but whatever. So Katie, though, tells Stassi she saw a new dating website called Farmers Only that Stassi could sign up for, which is not new anymore. This is a well-known dating website. But Stassi said, I've looked into that, but I think you also have to be like a farmer.
I would hope so. Like Stassi living in LA dating a farmer from like California.
It's called Farmers Only. Like, it's right in the name.
I bet you can, like, you don't have to be a farmer, but I bet you have to live.
You're gonna date a farmer,
life, like ish, like aesthetic at least.
I don't think Stassi loves farm aesthetic. I don't think she likes animals.
Her
I
and a
don't think
flannel could never see it.
No, it's never gonna happen. So Kristen and Sheena, though, they talk separately about Tom and Katie's fight. Kristen says Katie's always been mad because of the cheating that Tom does. So last night, Kristen did have a talk with Katie and found out that Katie fights with Schwartz because everything Schwartz does makes her think of the time Schwartz fucked that girl in Vegas. And Kristen knows that is true because she saw a text message of it.
And I was confused by this because I was like trying to recall when he fucked a girl in Vegas. And I was like, did I miss something?
I think it was like season 3.
Yes. He admitted on camera to kissing this girl.
Yes.
I forget how it went down, but like I know Schwartz told Katie in the back of Sir. Obviously everything happens in the back.
And
of
I
Sir.
remember Kristen reading that text message at a pool party.
Too.
Yeah, I remember that. But I don't think Kristen was friends with Katie at the time, so she didn't tell Katie, which is why I think it was season 3, because that's when Kristen was
excommunicated
on the outs.
Yeah. Do you think Schwartz slept with this girl?
Yes.
I do too, or at least something, like more than just kissing, because later he says like he did wake up in bed with her, which I actually find worse. If you don't even know what happened, I kind of find that worse.
Yeah, for sure. If you have no idea what happened.
Yeah.
And you just woke up. Yeah, you had sex.
But I don't like that, like 2 years later, this is now becoming like a thing. When you guys are engaged 2 years later on your bachelorette trip, now this is the thing like we're talking about.
I also don't like that.
I don't like how it's being handled from Katie's, fence.
I 100% agree. So it's fine. But okay, so Kristen says the trust is broken, and Sheena knows how that feels because Shay had his pill issue that ruined all her trust.
Oh, as if we could ever forget about that.
I have to tell you, Shay is my favorite character this season. He's just so stupid. Like, even when he's not around them talking about Shay.
Yes.
Shay's pill issue. I was like, Jesus.
I've said this in a previous episode we recorded. I want more. Like, I want more of Shay.
Yeah.
Either talk about him or have him on screen. I don't necessarily need him on screen, but I want you guys to talk about Shay more.
One line. Every episode, I just need him to have a few lines, and then I love it. So, Katie wants Schwartz to admit that he fucked this girl before the wedding happened.
Kristen says that. I need Katie to say that because Kristen is saying this. And I'm like, ever since any time, just Kristen as a human being, when Kristen says something, I don't believe it. Like, I don't take it as fact that person wants that.
Kristen's that bitch that's like, I know what Katie wants, and this is what she wants.
And I'm like she's did she always like that, or are you choosing that that's what she wants?
Kristen's bestie. Are you kidding? She knows. But so Sheena and Kristen are gonna make that happen. They're gonna make Schwartz admit this. Bridesmaids, ooh ha ha.
This obviously isn't gonna go well. Like, how could it? 2 people forcing the groom on his bachelor party to admit to sleeping with another girl while they were dating.
I don't see how this could go wrong. Kristen Doty's in charge. Immediate win.
On its own, just from like society perspective, these people are actually terrible friends if you were going to blow this up at this event.
Yeah, you're not my friend.
It always amazes me, the line of reality TV and what we need to do to produce a good show and like wanting to enjoy your life.
Yes.
Like those two don't align because I would be pissed if my friends, even if I was upset, like if this truly was my life where like I was fighting with my fiance because he probably slept with somebody else in Vegas and that's the root of all, like that's some of the root of all of our fighting. No, this is not the time I want you to address it. Like I want to try and enjoy my vacation, my bachelorette, my time. Like I don't want to be screaming with my fiance. I don't want more screaming with my fiance.
Dude, you're preaching to the choir. I get this is nuts. This is when they were like, we're going to make him admit it. I was like, fuck.
Reality TV perspective, I'm like, please don't. I kind of like want this to be fun.
Yeah, but
I'm like, do this at home.
You know what? Kristen does her job. So we go to this Gator tour, but it's the after, like they have the drinks and lunch and everything. They're going to do a crab boil, basically.
Yeah.
Or what's it called when you put all the crawfish boil? Mm-hmm. Yeah, great. So they're doing all that. They ask Schwartz how he's feeling. He says he feels bad for the crab because they're going to eat it. And then everyone's like, no, really. And he's like, oh, I haven't checked in with Katie today. And Sandoval says you should go to counseling. It'll help. And Schwartz says no, because Katie can't take criticism. And Carter comes in and is like, yeah, but can you understand that in Katie's mind, you don't have her back? And that's what she wants.
Yeah.
Like, do you understand that? And Schwartz is getting a little heated at Carter. And he's like, you don't get it, Carter.
I don't think Carter gets to have an opinion.
I think Carter's dragged into this at this point. He's like, I just wanted to I want my girlfriend to not destroy this bachelorette party.
But I lose respect for him for like getting involved because his girlfriend's so involved.
I didn't think Carter was too out of line because he's just been involved. At this point, because yeah, at this point, because also Sandoval and Jax love to be like, you're right and
that's
Katie's
true.
wrong.
There's nobody else who's willing to be like the opposite point, which you do need at like a discussion like this. But Carter seems to care so much. He's not just being like, hey, don't you just see, and like having
that's the thing.
Comment. Carter
I liked how he
kind of seems to care though.
I liked how he presented it. Then Schwartz gets hot. And then Carter's like, there's something that's affecting your relationship. And it's probably because you hooked up with that girl in Vegas.
That's what I didn't like. I'm like,
that's where I was like,
you were not in this friend group when this happened. You don't get to like be a part of this because your girlfriend is driving this so hard.
The original idea of like, this is why I've heard that Katie's upset. Can you see that? And then being like, I'm going to pull a Kristen. You fucked that girl in Vegas.
Yes. Because it does affect the entire friend group whenever they fight. So, like, I'm cool with Carter being like, listen, you guys are fighting and there's clearly something else going on. Like, having just a generic opinion on it, especially for the group discussion. But just get out of here, Carter. He's not like a character on this show. He just somehow is there sometimes. You're no Shay to me. Like, Shay can have an opinion.
I didn't dislike Carter this episode, but I was like, you're not going to get through. In a group of these guys, you're never going to get through to Schwartz.
He doesn't do it
with Sandoval protecting his back? No.
Yeah, true.
So then Schwartz wishes that the girl he hooked up with in Vegas was their only problem. Also, he hates that this is coming up 2 years after it happened because he thought they moved past it. But when she's drinking, it always comes up.
That's what bothers me from Katie's side.
I think, yes, Katie's not handling it correctly. I think Tom only admitted to kissing and Katie thinks that he fucked. So like that, she should just bring this up to him instead of just arguing, but she like doesn't.
And neither of them chose to do the work to actually move on from this. They like talked about it and then like pretended like this was
We're
fine.
done. We're finished. Yeah.
Which is half Schwartz's fault, but then the other half that's not his fault, which is Katie's, is he's like, all right, I thought we did move on from this. So, like, if she had issues, like, we should have talked about these.
Yes. So, Jax feels somewhat responsible for this rumor coming out because he's the one that let Kristen go through his phone.
Jax.
So, Schwartz calls the stuff Carter is saying about why Katie is actually mad, quote, Kristen propaganda. And Sandoval backs Schwartz up. I don't think it's propaganda. I think it's the truth.
I don't think it's propaganda, but I don't think Carter would ever care about this if his girlfriend didn't care.
Agreed. But I think these men are like, that's propaganda because Kristen's crazy.
I think propaganda is the wrong word. I think it's Kristen influence.
It's Kristen influence, but I think it's the truth, right? I think this is really the reason Katie is upset.
But you know what? People use the word propaganda when it is the truth and they're trying to tell you it's not the truth.
Yes, it's Sandoval and Schwartz. They will never take responsibility. Sandoval hates Katie. He's like, Jax hates Katie.
They're trying
Schwartz
to put doubt in everyone's mind, including the viewers, that Schwartz had sex or didn't have sex or whatever. They're trying to make it seem
Schwartz
like
this is
so outlandish. He admitted to the kissing. Like, he would have admitted to sleeping with her if he had done it. Like, he came clean. So, like, why would 2 years later, like, he didn't do this?
Yeah, because Sandoval even blames Kristen for spreading this around when really Katie's behavior is just unacceptable. I was like, the fuck? So, Shay, let's get to my favorite part. Shay pops in for a second.
Hey guys, I'm here on this trip with you.
He says, listen, as the only married one here, I feel like I can shed some light.
I mean, honestly, yeah.
But he goes, Sheena and I, we have our issues, right? Sheena has her issues. She's so fucking annoying and never shuts the fuck up.
I think he does need to be really honest, though, and be like...
But he straight up says she's so fucking annoying and never shuts the fuck up. But he had to be totally honest with her, and she was honest with him, and from there you can work together to compromise. I was like, how do you compromise someone being annoying as fucking annoying? It's so funny, too, because Sheena's going to see this and be like, what the fuck?
No, but I honestly bet that they sat down and had a very honest conversation, and he said, "You're said that.
Fucking annoying.
You annoy the fuck out of me."
It was so funny though the way he said it, just like point blank. Sheena's so fucking annoying.
I think Sheena could have an honest conversation and sit there and like come and they could like resolve things. Sheena and Shay. I do not think this will work for Schwartz. Can you imagine if he sat down and was like, Katie, you fucking annoy every ounce of me. I hate whenever you get drunk and just scream at me. Like, we can't work through our problems. You suck at all of this. Katie would be like, you don't have my back.
Ooh, Shay would be like, listen, you're so fucking annoying. That's why I had to take pills. And she'd be like,
but like, let's move forward. Schwartz would never be like, let's work on this together. And Katie would be like, you hate me.
He would just attack her and she would get defensive. Shay, I think at least would be like, I'm sorry for taking pills. It's just because you're so fucking annoying. I had to get out of this world.
That's it. I think Sheena and Shay could be... Sheena's not self-aware in the moment, but I think Sheena in a conversation can be self-aware. Like if you're like sitting down and really boiling down the issues.
She'll think about it, I think, after the fact. Instead of getting mad and calling her friends, I think she would sit down and be like
want to be better moving forward, and like they would want to actually resolve their issues. Whereas like Katie and Tom cannot be self-aware of what part they play and how they are like 50% responsible for each of their arguments. And instead they want to put 100% blame on the other person.
But also I think it's the people you surround yourself with, right? Like if Sheena called Ariana and said, Shay's taking bills because I'm so annoying, Ariana would be like, okay, what can we do to like fix this?
Like, and give him a better
Shay could call his friends. Schwartz calls Sandoval. No, Katie's the villain. True. Katie calls Stassi or Kristen. No, Schwartz is the villain. You're like they have hype squads.
Yeah, yes, man. Like you're
Sheena
so
would get checked. Sheena would get checked in a second by Ariana. Right. So even if she called Katie would be like, you are fucking annoying. Like Sheena just gets checked.
True.
So Schwartz, after Shay says you can compromise if your woman's super fucking annoying like mine, Schwartz says that's great, but Katie takes all my insecurities and throws them in my face and then rage texts me for hours. And Jax is like, hey, shouldn't you not get married then?
He actually says that, and I'm like, this is a terrible time to have this discussion, but yeah, I think you shouldn't get married.
I'm just saying.
This is my worst nightmare too. Both of that, being Katie or receiving Katie.
Yeah, I don't want to be in a relationship with either one of these people.
Oh my God.
So Peter, a little single Peter in the corner, he goes, just talk to her when you get home. As in, let's just have a fun bachelorette party, please God.
Yeah, like let's not do this now, whether you are or not getting married, because I am already here and I want to have a good time.
Yeah. He's like, I already paid for this. Can we just... So then Shay goes, my dude Shay coming in again. He goes, just so you know, marriage, it never gets easier.
Which I think Schwartz needs to know that.
Yeah, but it's so funny that he's like, I've been 3 years in this, and it's just the hardest thing I've ever done being married to fucking Sheena, you know?
Even that annoying girl? Horrible.
I was talking about. It's my fucking wife.
Well, I think a lot of people in society, especially at this time, thought like hitting the next milestone or doing the next thing would like make you happy. Yeah. So I think we're we're talking and being more honest, and like a lot of people are in therapy and like mental health stuff. Like we're much more honest here in 2023 when we're recording this. But I remember thinking like, oh my God, yeah, like they should get married. Like it'll be fine. Like when I was watching this the first time.
I don't remember what I thought, but
I know it's really hard for me to like.
I think I was rooting for them.
I was rooting for them when I first watched this. It's harder being my age now and like to not have the influence of who I am. I'm not having the influence of what I know in the future, but I am having the influence of who I am.
Well, we're now their age that they were in this season, basically, maybe a few years younger. Fuck that.
But when I was watching this the first time, I know I was rooting for them.
At like 23, we were
watching this at like 21.
Oh yeah, this doesn't even seem remotely toxic.
It'll work
this is great. So Ariana says, listen, she's trying to just be like, listen, there's something really bothering Katie. Mm-hmm. So like that's what we need to focus on. And Sandoval's like, ugh, Schwartz is a battered wife. And he starts crying because he fucking loves his friend and his friend is the best. And all this is being taken out on him for no reason. Sandoval keeps crying and yelling at this point about how much he loves Tom Schwartz. Loves him. These two should get married.
I mean, the tears on both of them.
And it's so dramatic. And I literally go, is Sandoval acting? Because it came out of fucking nowhere. This man just like cracked.
This is so weird. And you saying like who like your friends have or what friends have influence on you has just made me light bulb click that whatever, because I'm straight, like whatever guy, if I'm in a relationship with his closest best friend, I feel like I need to investigate more because that is who he is going to go to for advice. That like if Sandoval was the best friend to the guy I was dating, red flags.
I learned this at an early age because my high school boyfriend had a group of boys, his best friends. They were the worst. And he would in turn act the worst sometimes. And I would be like,
what happened?
Don't talk about me to your friends. Yeah. Like we would get in, there were fights we would get into and I'd be like, I'm not going to your friend's party because I hate them all so much.
Oh my God.
Like they are just the worst. There was only one friend in his whole group that even remotely like kind of was a good friend.
Yeah.
But like, so I am not about this. Like, get some ownership.
Like, he's getting all this and it's not his fault. And it's like, again, why are we like trying to assign 100% blame to someone? Like there is clearly an issue between them. They need to work it out. Like whether Schwartz did or didn't do something wrong is not the point. It's that they need to work on it together.
Yeah, agreed. So now Schwartz is crying and Ariana's literally like, what the fuck, you guys? I came here to not have to deal with drama. I'm going to go with the girls next time.
I would rather...
Should have been at brunch with angry Katie, for sure.
I love food so much as Meredith that like I want that brunch food. I would rather deal with the company of those people for that food than deal with the company of these people for gators.
Oh my God. Katie can yell at me all day long as long as I'm eating. I don't care.
Much more enjoyable than this.
That's fine. Katie's just berating us and we're just like eating in front of her. We're like no worries.
The shame of the bridesmaid groomsman thing. Like I'd rather deal with that and eat some etouffee than
that's fine.
Sit here on this picnic bench.
Yeah, can you bring another round? Katie, just hang on until my next plate gets here and then you can yell at me some more. No worries.
Yes.
So then we cut to Sir. Lisa's here. She finds the Sir cooks, who are some of my favorite. She wants to come up with 3 new dishes. So the chef Joe needs to figure that out and serve them to Lisa, Ken, and Nathalie tonight.
Be creative with it.
And Guillermo. Yeah. So then they can decide. She also threatens the head chef, by termination, basically, with termination, for wearing magic mushroom pants, even though no one fucking sees these pants until the camera actually like goes down. And then Lisa leaves. I think she's being cute, right? Yes. She's like, I should fire you with that. And I was like, don't fucking hold this job over this poor man.
They clearly are like, oh, we need to remind people that these people live in LA and work at a restaurant.
Lisa's in charge.
Lisa yelling at chef for wearing pants.
Yeah, fucking. But then there's another guy that works in the kitchen when Lisa leaves, and he says, obviously all in Spanish. He's like, I want to marry her. And the head chef is like, oh, yeah, she's got money, too. And they're so funny because they always talk in Spanish about how fucking crazy Sir is. Like, my favorite was when Kristen got fired, and in Spanish, they're like, did you fucking hear?
That one obviously is like natural and normal, but this one's clearly set up so I don't actually enjoy it. But when they catch him talking about random other stuff, I love it more.
But this was fine. Whatever. Lisa, do not fire head chef Joe. He's fantastic. Leave him alone. Okay?
Whether
Leave Joe alone.
Wears these pants or not.
Yeah, it's just fucking magic. You're in LA. He has magic mushroom pants. Same sign. So then we go back to New Orleans. We're in Katie and Tom's room. The girls are like setting up the vibe of the room with decorations and stuff. And then there's a knock at the door. And this woman comes in with a cake. And the woman turns out to be a stripper. Kristen was the one that got the stripper, and she's got dollars. And you know what?
Wait, this is where Kristen being like the crazy friend is like epic. You're like, okay,
I want Kristen.
I'm glad she's on my Bachelorette.
I was gonna say Kristen's a great great bridesmaid. She's
you know what? I don't want her on a joint Bachelorette trip for me personally, but like mine would be separate. So like all her quirks with this like guy-girl dispute would not be there.
Yeah, it's a little awkward for the stripper. I always think when there's just one stripper and a bunch of people watching the stripper, it like starts out a little awkward, but I think it got better as the night went on.
100%. Well, also like everybody else didn't know either. Like it seems like just Kristen knew, and because they're like, "What's going on?" And then Kristen pulls out the ones, and they're like, "Yeah."
I loved. It was great. So then we go to what I think is Jackson Brittany's room. And Jackson Schwartz are napping, and Sandoval comes in with Ariana. They wake him up, and they're like, we got to get ready for drag. So then Miss Aubrey, Star, and Anastasia, the drag mothers, show up. Time to turn these men into gorgeous drag queens.
I like that they had drag mothers. This made it like even better.
Yeah, they're also fully committing to the bit.
I love this.
I love it.
Me
You can't
too.
do drag half-ass. Come on.
No, it would like look so weird. Like, I'm glad they have some,
like Peter. Like, it would look like Peter.
Yes. Well, like they're getting their man in a wig done, and like they really thought about costumes.
Yeah.
And,
So, go back to Katie and Tom's room where the stripper is. Ariana comes in because she's trying to be really nice on both sides and like do both. But she sees the stripper and she's pumped because we're blurring gender stereotype lines. And then she's like, can I switch to be a fucking bridesmaid now? Like, the men suck. We were crying at the Gator place.
The girls are having fun. Having fun. I think the girls can have a lot of fun and a lot of not fun. And the guys are just like more in a neutral zone most of the time.
Yes, agreed. So Ariana goes back to where the boys are getting ready, and she's like, you guys are losing in the fun department. And there she's like, check your phones. And they all see like a topless girl with whipped cream. And Sandoval's like, don't worry, we're just getting started, baby. But he says this with his like drag makeup on, so it's hilarious. But Sandoval basically has enough clothes if they all wanted to do drag and change outfits 3 times throughout the night. Like, he's fucking ready for this. He has wigs, dresses, heels.
I'm glad he like prepped so hard for it, because like somebody needs to do the organization of it, because you just can't expect like all these guys to be truly, really prepared. Yeah. Like purses and all the little things. Like, this is where he is like, I don't know if he's actually the best man or like what his role truly is in this wedding, but he is the best man at drag.
He's killing it. So Peter is the first one done. He basically just put on a wig and a dress, and he is calling that drag. He does look like a piano teacher in Florida.
That's the thing. I feel like the rest of the costumes ended up being more like hip, young, like outfit. They're trying to
Peter looks like a 90-year-old woman.
Peter looks like, like an old lady.
Yeah.
Not cute.
But it was still funny. He at least is participating. Carter and Jesus are not participating in this.
That bothers me. Carter is like so actively involved in this shit. You got to play along to everything. Like,
Jesus, fine. You don't have to dress up. Jesus doesn't want to be on camera, basically. He's like, whatever. But Carter, if you're in this group and you're going to comment on the drama, get a dress.
You better commit to every fucking
Get in a fucking
thing.
Dress, bitch. Yeah. So, Schwartz and Jax are two of the ugliest women I've ever seen. But Sandoval it kind of works. He looks like a bitch, but it's like a good bitch.
I think it's that, like, Schwartz's eyes are always, like, lay low, and he just looks sad, like, sad eyes. So he doesn't, like, he just looks like defeated face. The facial expressions he has.
Jax has scruff still. Jax tried. He at least has like eyeshadow on and he got the makeup. Yeah. And he has the nice wig. And he puts on a really good outfit. But his scruff really gives him away.
Schwartz looks sad. Jax looks like confused. Can't like really fully commit to the aura of being a woman. Whereas Sandoval is in on every fucking level.
Sandoval could be on a drag stage, like a drag show stage, and he would fucking kill it. He looks like he owns it. So, back to the stripper. It was so fun. Stripper was a girl's girl. They had the best time. Great. So the girls also go out tonight. We don't see them. I think it was just probably a boring night, but the drag shit was fun. So we're going out in drag with the men. Ariana is dressed like a dude.
Which I'm happy she did her opposite because they are doing it. I wondered what she was going to do because she wasn't getting ready when the guys were. Yeah. So I was a little concerned. I was like, is she just going to like be in a normal outfit? Like that won't be fun.
She's a dude. So as they're walking, we get like a shot of all of them walking down the street, and I was crying because you could tell they're all struggling to walk. Peter looks insane in his long dress. He's so bad.
Also, the height difference of Ariana to Tom Sandoval
because he's in heels.
He's in heels as a woman, so tall now. She's a petite girl, anyways. Her as a dude. Hilarious.
Yeah, it was awesome. So they go to the straightest place ever, a sports bar, but the people in the sports bar are pumped and they walk in and they make an entrance. So we have Schwartz as Visa Vanderpump. We have Sandoval as Jen Rod. We have Ariana as Jordan Tyler. 3 million followers on Vine.
Hilarious.
She was great. She embodied some dude named Jordan Tyler perfectly. This is Jordan Tyler for sure. Peter is Petra Honeysuckle. And Jax is Tina Lamar, which was apparently a nickname from like years and years ago. Yeah, but now he's Tina.
I want those stories.
So they're absolutely hilarious talking to people in this bar. Ariana is so in character. She will never. Schwartz is not he's not doing voices, but he's like
trying to commit to the persona of a woman. Yeah, but it's like
with no attitude.
But it's like he's trying to do bits. He's not committing fully. He's saying the words without the tone. In like the mannerisms that you need.
Ariana and Sandoval have fully changed their voices, their personalities. Even
they
Jax
don't break character. Like they never come out.
Never.
Of it.
Jax is even like looking at women and he's like, what do I have to do to get a man to buy me a drink around here?
He's committing at times where he's like, hey ladies. Like he'll do a voice, a persona,
he's funny.
A tone, but he'll fall out of it every once in a while. Schwartz.
But he was better than Schwartz.
Yes.
Even Peter comes over and does like a bit where he's like, how come Jordan Tyler is buying other women drinks and not us? And then the woman tries to speak to him and he's like, I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you. So they're all doing. Schwartz is the most awkward doing this bit, but they're all fucking hilarious. Yeah, some guy buys Schwartz a drink or a shot and tells him he's beautiful, which fucking cracked me up because Schwartz is like, oh, thank you. And then Jax tries to pee, which he pees on his dress. But they're all wasted. These men and Ariana, wasted. Schwartz's wig starts moving back on his head so you can see his hairline.
And he's just like drinking out of random people's drinks. He's like
wine glasses, yeah.
The way he just like takes out what he's like, let me have this. Takes a sip and then hands it back. I was like,
the smallest sip, the world's smallest sip.
My God.
Oh my God. It was good. But Ariana fucking cracked me up. She was dancing. She was having a great time. She was flirting with ladies. Just the best. So we then go to the hotel where the girls are coming in from their night out. What I found interesting was some of the friends were wearing white.
I saw that too, and I was confused.
It's not that kind of bachelorette.
Was Sheena in black? Or Stassi, I think, was in black. I thought everyone was in
light colors. So that girl Jen, one of Katie's home friends, and then Sheena were wearing white shirts. Okay. Everyone else was in light colors, and then Stassi was in black.
So I thought everyone was in white until seeing Stassi. Like, I know that's kind of popular now. If, like, for all the friends to be in white and then the bride to be in a color or something.
Yeah.
But Stassi, I was like, all right, this isn't an all white thing.
Yeah. So they had gone on a murder tour. Kristen on the murder tour kept mentioning that people were getting murdered for cheating, which sounds right.
Well, yes, but like then either in an interview or she was like sitting on the couch, she was like, yeah, it's just like everybody clearly got murdered because they were cheating. And I was like, that's not what the guide said. Like, you are bringing Katie's personal life and making it about everything now. Like, that bothers me. Like, can't you just like try and have fun? Like, if you keep bringing up this cheating thing, like, Katie cannot move on from it herself.
Well, my girl Kristen would have been killed then too a long time ago.
You're so right. I mean, half this group would be 6 feet under.
Just dead in the water, yeah. So Sheena asks if the guys are coming back soon because Shay never made it out because he has sun poisoning. Also, he feels weird because he's sober on this trip. I would love a shot of Shay just not in pain, eating in his bed.
I
just
want
like
him eating
the
chips,
fucking annoying girl
TV.
is gone. Yeah. And I don't have to deal with the men crying.
Oh my God,
like,
that's
he's done.
He knew Sheena would go out with the girls and he could have like 3 hours of peace.
Yeah, but he did mention that at the gator thing, I think, that his skin was hurting. So he may
I bet he had like a light allergic reaction where like, you know, some Benadryl would have fixed him right up. But he's like, I'm going to milk this baby. I don't want to do this anymore.
I love it. After the dudes cried, he's probably like, I'm not going out tonight.
Like, I don't want to deal with this. And they're cheating. And they're like, I don't want to talk about all this shit. And
they're all going to get
drunk. Be with Sheena. Like, this is
I don't want to dress up in drag. Sheena's gone. This is great.
I wonder if he planned to dress in drag. I would have loved to see him in drag.
I would have loved to see Shay in drag. Ugh, dreams. So then we cut back to Sir, where Lisa, Ken, Nathalie, and Guillermo are gonna try what Joe makes. Basically, they like 2 of the dishes, they hate one. And then they talk about the cabbage soup. Yeah, Joe, what were we thinking on that one? Ken really liked the cabbage soup.
I'm sure it's fine, but who wants to order that at a restaurant? That's something you like make at home. To, like Lisa said, to like lose weight.
So they talk about how all their servers are gone and hopefully Schwartz isn't sleeping on the couch. Haha. Great.
Well, he is. Yay.
Back to the hotel. The girls are sitting in the lobby. Carter walks in. She's like, I'm so happy I found you guys because look who I've been with all night. And he introduces all of the drag queens. Sandoval has changed wigs. He originally went out in this like black wig and now he's in a puffy white wig.
Love that so much better. Love that. With
what did he say? It makes him look younger. It made him look like a pop sensation. Yes. You know, So the girls are dying. They think this is so funny. Stas even says Sandoval's a better woman than she is. Mm-hmm. He's hot. He would get so many likes.
On a dating app. Yeah, that's what she
Farmers
says.
only would accept him for all the farmers would be all over him. Jax looks insane. Brittany cannot stop laughing. Also, Jax is fully in character right now where he's sipping that drink like Kristen where he can't find that fucking straw.
Oh my God.
And he's like, biting his sunglasses. Yes. He's like, hey, honey, what you laughing at? He's great.
But he also is so disheveled because he's hammered and really struggles.
So disheveled. This man so disheveled. He peed all over his dress. So Katie says her and Schwartz insanely fight sometimes, but they forgive each other. And if you have a problem with that, then you should just be glad this isn't your relationship. And don't think I'm not glad about that every single minute I watch this show.
I'm so glad. And you don't fight and forgive each other. You fight and pretend you forgive each other. That's your problem.
I would love for Katie to say this to my face and me just be like, I am grateful this is not my relationship.
I have been at a point in my life where I've spun myself so many lies from my own mouth. And so I just feel bad for her because she is trying so hard to believe this stuff.
Yep. She just really wants it to be okay.
Yeah.
Kristen hates Schwartz. She's coming for him. And she's going to make him admit that he fucked this girl in Vegas. And Carter is down. He's a down bitch. He's ready to do it with her.
just like, why? Everybody's happy right now. Why are we doing this? This is why I don't want this on my TV even. Like, in my life, I definitely don't want it. But, like, this is the first time we're having fun, and I love this drag bit. Like, don't ruin this for me.
Katie and Schwartz, like, literally just do a quick kiss, and you see Kristen, like, he's got to admit it. He's got to, and Carter's like, great, let's do it, I guess.
I think Kristen thrives off the drama so much that, like, when things are good, she can't have things copacetic.
She can't. So it's 1:45 a.m. just so we can get an idea of how drunk we are.
A late
and how
night,
late
but weirdly, I mean, New Orleans goes to like 4 a.m. So, like,
well, yeah,
this isn't the latest.
We're still drinking, and we never get another timestamp, so we don't know where it actually stops. Yeah. We could do this till 5.
We're still kicking in the lobby here.
Jax and Brittany make it back to their room. Jax says this is the last we've seen of Tina because he's very happy his dick is back out. And then Kristen asks Schwartz to talk. So she says she's going to be straight up. She's talked to Katie, and she knows they fight over one thing. The fact that Schwartz fucked a chick in Vegas, and he never got over it. Schwartz is pissed.
She has not said this to Schwartz. So, like, Schwartz is not in the loop outside of Carter saying this.
Yeah. Schwartz is pissed because the logic is flawed. And they fought way before Vegas. They've been fighting for 12 years, Kristen. Get out of here.
Oh, I'm like, that's not something I would want to admit.
We've been fighting since we first met. What are you talking about?
We're getting married and we've been fighting every year.
So Schwartz says they didn't fuck. Him and this girl did not fuck. And Kristen says, yes, they did because Carmen saw it. Remember Carmen, the blonde girl Jax used to date?
His one of 2 girlfriends at the time.
Yes, that was friends with Kristen. And Schwartz walks away because this is the dumbest combo he's ever had, and he calls Kristen basic. You're basic.
I think he has every right to walk away from this. Like,
I think so.
Get yourself out of
this point, at 1:45 a.m. at a bachelorette party, get out. Don't do this.
Whether he did or didn't do it, if he didn't do it, it's like, I'm not going to take this from you. If he did do it, I'm also still not going to take this from you. Who the fuck are you to yell at me on my bachelor trip about this? No.
So Schwartz walks out of, like, the little bar they were at, and Carter's like, hey, where you going? And Schwartz is like, Dodie is the same basic bitch that I always knew she was. And Sheena and Ariana are in the lobby too, and they like overhear, but they don't do anything about it. So Schwartz and Sandoval are now by the elevators, as Schwartz is yelling about how stupid Kristen is. But Kristen and Carter are not far behind them. So now Schwartz and Kristen are arguing at the elevators, and they each have one defender. So that's even. Like Sandoval and Carter are defending their own no matter what, just being like, don't talk that way. Yeah. But Schwartz and Kristen are fighting. So that it gets messy. I didn't take the best notes, but
you're okay.
Kristen just wants Schwartz to tell the truth, and that will make everything better. And she tries to hug Schwartz to keep him talking to her, but the Toms are both very pissed.
Yeah. Kristen's strategies in this argument are so funny to me because she's like trying to latch herself physically on Tom so like he won't stop the conversation. But it's like he doesn't want to hug you.
No, he's mad.
Yes.
So Schwartz is like pissed. He says, how about I talk to everyone you've had sex with? And Kristen goes, great.
She's like, I know them all, so
I know them. And this is when Carter is like, nope, we're not going to disrespect like that. And then Schwartz asks Kristen if he wants to go to war because he can roast her ass. And then Schwartz gets in the elevator with Sandoval, and Sandoval's like trying to protect Schwartz, yelling and like blocking him. And now Kristen
Schwartz
and
is clearly trying to leave the situation. He physically left Kristen at the table. The only reason they're arguing at the elevators is because they're physically waiting for the elevator at the elevator bank. So when Schwartz gets in, Sandoval's like, all right, we're done here. Like, we're leaving.
Yes, but Kristen's like, no. So she's like blocking the elevator from closing. So now her and Sandoval are yelling at each other. But then Carter gets in the elevator, and Schwartz says, fine, Carter can come, but not Dodie. So Kristen has to walk away.
I don't get why Carter wants to go with them.
I think he's trying to diffuse, but also he's getting way too involved.
This is why I'm annoyed with Carter. Like, you're not fully on this show. Like, you really have nothing to do with when this incident occurred. Like, you have no stake in the game except for to defend your girlfriend. And to me, like, sorry if this is like toxic masculinity, but like, you're being a little bitch. Like, get out of here. Like, get out of this art. It's like when house husbands get involved in fights with the women, I'm like, what are you doing?
I think it's nice that I did like that he joined at the elevators because Schwartz had a defender. Yes. So Carter was then there.
That doesn't bother me. Like, being like, don't talk to her that way.
I liked him having Kristen's back. I do think he should have not gotten in the elevator. I think then I would have been like, great, Carter, good way to play.
That's it. It's like him defending Kristen, cool. Him propelling Kristen's argument,
it doesn't need to happen. Yeah. So in the elevator, Schwartz calls Kristen a bitch whore, and Carter's like, watch your mouth, which I also think was fine. Like, just don't, we don't have to.
Don't follow them. He's going to want to bitch about your girlfriend, so leave him alone.
I didn't mind Carter being like, watch your mouth. And they're like, yeah, we get that, but also no, we will not. And so Sandoval is now saying that Kristen is capable of so much. So now the elevator gets to the hallway.
Which is true. Now, Kristen is capable of a lot.
She's capable of a lot. So we're in the hallway yelling, and Carter just wants them to listen. And Sandoval says no, because Sandoval was there. So he knows what happened in Vegas. Mm-hmm. And then Jax is listening from the room, and he's like, oh, fuck. And Stassi's peeking out from her door, too, on the ground.
Stassi. This is how I love Stassi. To be in arguments. Like, I love being within earshot, kind of hiding, but like, I want everything.
I also want to see, if I was Jax, I would have just peeked out a little and been like,
I'm Jax also from the thing. I'm not going out into the hallway. I love Jax talking to Brittany. He's like, I'm not going out there, but I will watch the whole time.
I thought that was awesome. Jax is like, because Brittany's like, get out there. And Jax is like, no, I'm not going out there.
Would you go out there if you were Jax?
No, I would do a Stassi. I would like peek.
Yeah, because
if I was Jax, no.
Jax already left the night. Like, you can tell he's over the night just before this fight happened. So going out there is involving yourself and not being able to go to bed when you want.
Also, I'm going to diffuse the situation. I don't even want to get involved. Yeah. If I'm Jax, if I'm Brittany, I'd go out there and be like, what's happening, you guys?
I think one people are not realizing is, I mean, this is with everything that's ever happened on Vanderpump Rules, Jax is truly at the center of it. And like, nobody ever puts like enough blame or like discussion.
He never gets caught. Yeah,
and so I think he also always knows that. And so he's like, I gotta say little after my part is done, so it does not come back to me. Like,
because at any time Carter can be like, Jax is the one that told Kristen.
The text message, yeah.
Just back up. Yeah. So, Schwartz asked Sandoval how many guys Kristen fucked when they were dating. And Sandoval says, a lot. And Schwartz goes, yeah, Kristen's a slut. So Carter's now getting mad. He goes, it's not about Kristen. And they're saying, like, Kristen always does this. This is how Kristen is when you're dating her. And Carter says, because they're like, Kristen's like this. She's always going to be like this. And Carter says,
we took down women in the 2010s just by, if they said anything, we actually just attack their character and like who they sleep with instead of attacking their argument. It's just a wild time.
Terrible. Well, so they're talking about how Kristen always has done this and will do this. And Carter says, quote, everybody grows up, Tom. And guess what? You grew up to be fucking Sia. For Carter, that was the best line. Because he's calm, too. And then it cuts to Sandoval going,
but the best
and he does look like Sia.
The best is that, like, he is shocked by, I think, the line, like, Carter having a decent line. But Sandoval would never get offended by this. This is a compliment to Sandoval.
But then he goes, I'm fucking Sia. He's like, Okay, and then even Tom Schwartz is like, Carter, that was low.
We literally moved from the actual argument of like, Katie's mad because Schwartz slept with a girl in Vegas to Kristen's such a slut to Tom Sandoval is Sia. And I'm like, this has now gotten way out of control.
I loved how offended Tom Schwartz was.
Like, how dare you say
that? Was way too far, Carter.
Thank you. Oh my God.
I just love that they're sitting here going, Kristen's a bitch, whore, and a slut. And then Sia was way too far, Carter. That was wild. And Sandoval just doesn't know how to come back at it. See, I'm Sia. He's looking at the camera going, Sia, call me. I'm Sia.
Yeah, with his sunglasses on, like wig on.
Just the makeup. It was hilarious. Everybody grows up, Tom, and guess what? You grew up to be fucking Sia. The way he says it too is so calm. He's not even yelling it.
This isn't like a spoiler, but like Bravo has at BravoCon like a museum kind of. I'm kind of shocked. Like, well, I guess not shocked because like that stuff didn't exist at the time, but I wish we had like this wig and like a picture of this that line in like the Bravo museum.
This line lives in my head rent free. This is the line I think about all the time. Guess what, Tom? You grew up to be fucking Sia. Like, it's just so funny.
This argument in this hallway, like, I can envision myself in this scene all the time.
So good. So this is, again, where Jax is going, I'm not getting involved in that.
Also, Stassi, like, peeking in and out during this argument is incredible because they don't acknowledge her.
Notice her.
Yeah. And, like, she constantly is, like, putting her head out. And then I think she's like, oh, my God, somebody looked over here. I gotta, like, get back in my
she's,
doorway.
like, hiding. It's so good. So Carter says, either you did or didn't have sex with that girl, but Katie thinks you did, and that's the problem. Mm-hmm. And Schwartz, which Carter, that is right on the nail, right on that nail. Yes. And Schwartz says he didn't, he just made out with her, which again is not what Carter was saying, but Katie thinks.
Again, it doesn't matter if you did or
didn't.
Truth
doesn't matter. Truth doesn't matter.
It's about where Katie is at mentally, and you guys have to work through that whether you did or didn't.
So let me cut back to Jax where Brittany's like, I'm going to go out there. And Jax goes, no, you're not going to go out there. No one touch it.
I think the cameraman, though, from their room went into the hallway. Because we got a camera, like, walking out of a room. And I think they were done with Jax and Brittany realizing, like, all right, we got enough footage of these two.
Yeah, we don't care about these two anymore.
So, like, when the door's opening, I'm sure Brittany's like, this is our moment. Like, we're being seen anyways.
I also love when they're talking, Jax and Brittany, you hear the argument in the hallway, like, from their mics. Like, from Jax and Brittany's mics, the argument is seeping in. It was so good.
These types of moments, just you can't manufacture them or ever experience them, but I've had not so many moments, but these types of moments are the best where you're like, it's all happening. Like, do I involve myself? Like, what's going on?
What do I do?
Like, I feel like this is like moments in like college happen because the proximity of people like yelling near you, getting in fights with, like around each other was so close that like real life does not have this happen.
This is amazing. Mm-hmm. So Katie comes into the hall and is like, what is happening? And Schwartz is like, Dodie's out of line. And Katie goes, she's been downstairs this whole time. Because Katie has no idea what's happened. She's like, what are you fucking fighting about?
If you're Schwartz on edge, pissed at Kristen, and Katie says this line to you, it's like, it feels like she doesn't have your back, but it's like she doesn't know what's going on.
She's so like, what are you talking about?
But this would piss me off if I was Schwartz. Like, oh, Kristen's doing nothing. She's been downstairs. It's like, she's doing everything.
This is hilarious. So then Schwartz is now mad at Katie and says she acts like a moron. And Katie's like, what? Katie's unfazed by it. She's like, whatever.
She's not as drunk as Schwartz is.
For
once, Katie is not like hammered, wanting to rage at Schwartz, which is nice.
No, she seems very calm.
Yes,
like, whatever. So we cut to the inside of a hotel room. So now the editing's a little choppy, but I feel like no one knew what to do.
Okay, I think Katie and the girls are in Katie's room, and then I think
I get that. I meant the editing. The editing went from the hallway to like cut to a room where Sheena and Ariana magically appear in this room.
I think that editing is Tom and Ariana's. Though.
Tom and Ariana's room, yes, because Sheena and Ariana are there with Schwartz and Sandoval, and Sheena says to Sandoval, that she knows Schwartz fucked a girl. And Sandoval's like, no, he didn't. And Schwartz swears he didn't fuck that girl, although he can't remember for sure.
That would send me over the edge if I was Katie.
That's it. That's
him, because he put that in his interview, right? Schwartz did.
Yeah, he was like,
I don't remember, but I just don't think I did.
Yeah, he's like, I just woke up naked in this girl's room and left. But I don't think I fucked her. Jeez. That was it. Yeah. So how was Sandoval there? Right? He was in Vegas. Even Jax is like, I introduced Schwartz to this girl in Vegas. And then they like went away. Like Jax is that. And Sandoval's like, no, I was there. It never happened. Which is always their defense. That was their defense for Jax. That was their defense. The other time Jax cheated on someone in Vegas, like that's always his thing. The boys were there. How could it have happened?
They're honestly so good at this too because they admit to some of it. And so it seems like then they're telling you the truth because they're like, quote unquote, being honest with you. Like Sandoval's like, yes, he met this girl. Yes, like some of this happened, but that extreme didn't happen.
Yeah, he's like, they of course kissed.
Like he admitted that. He said that, but he would never do that.
He's the victim.
He wasn't capable of doing that. He was too drunk.
Oh yeah, your dick wasn't capable of doing that.
That isn't an excuse. Like that
you
not
tried
remembering
and it just didn't
you
work.
Saying you were too drunk to have sex tells me that like you wanted to cheat on me.
Yeah, you tried. You tried.
Oh.
You would have if you just had one last drink.
You would have. You just, your body in a sense let you down. Gross.
Yeah, gross. So then we cut to Katie's hotel room where we have Kristen, Stassi, Katie, and Carter, and Brittany. Mm-hmm. And Kristen fills them in on what happened about like, she wanted just Tom to admit that he cheated. And Stassi's like,
Katie doesn't say much in this, by the way.
Katie doesn't say anything. Stassi then is like, I didn't know that this was what is happening. Like, this makes so much more sense as to why you guys are fighting. But Katie's like, you know what? We weren't friends when this happened. And I was trying to protect Schwartz. She didn't want this to be like this coming out. Yeah.
Which I love that for Katie. Like,
she has his back. She's having his back.
It makes me have more respect from her side on their relationship. Like, truly, all this stuff is only on camera because they have to talk about it for the like storyline of the season. But a lot of this happens off camera. She does not attack him about this stuff on camera. And I feel for her on that because I feel like once you put it on camera, you can't take it back, obviously. Like, you don't get control of where that's going to go. So she's trying so hard to hold on to her relationship because she doesn't want it to be over. And I think putting that stuff on camera would, like, help, like, put some nails in the coffin to end their relationship.
Agreed. Okay, then we cut back to the Tom and Ariana's hotel room. Mm-hmm. And Sheena says, this cheating thing is the root of all of Katie and Schwartz's problems. And Sandoval is so mad. And he's like, what about the 4 years before that when they were fighting? And Schwartz says he's done. He's done. He's not going to marry Katie. Ooh. To be continued. ...
I like putting that on camera. That's another thing. Like, that's
rough.
A very final statement. I'm sad. I wish this argument never happened. We were having such a good day in New Orleans.
Agreed. So next time, Katie tells Lisa about their fighting. Sandoval calls Schwartz a battered wife. Everyone's talking about Schwartz cheating. Katie is still mad. Kristen and Sandoval talk. And we go out again in New Orleans and everyone kisses.
How did we get there? I'm so confused. The way this
everyone
group brushes
kissing
things under the rug. Yeah.
Oh no, I can't wait for everyone to kiss.
One of your favorite lines is that battered wife. I know it. And I'm kind of mad they put it in the preview. I didn't remember that.
I'm mad that they didn't include it in this because I thought it went hand in hand with the hallway. Mm-hmm. With the everyone grows up, Tom, and guess what? You grew up to be fucking Sia because that's another one of my favorite lines.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, should we do accepted and blocked?
Yes.
Okay, let's do blocked first. I want to block most of them. Me personally, I'm gonna block Kristen.
Okay, good. Yeah.
There was a lot happening. I don't think it needed to happen here at this time to this extreme. I think it was just a lot. I don't think she's looking out for Katie's best interests at this point because, like, what does Katie want? Does Katie want Kristen to go after Schwartz?
I agree with that. It feels
So-
like Katie had a heart-to-heart with Kristen and finally, like, things clicked for Katie. And Kristen chose to put it on blast, and Katie clearly didn't want that. Like, Katie has never put this on camera, but Kristen chose for herself to bring this to the forefront, and that makes me really upset.
So that's why I'm blocking Kristen. Although I do think it gave great drama. I think
absolutely. But I've said this all episode. I wanted a fun day in New Orleans. I kind of wish the way they edited this or the way this like fight went down.
The fight happened in the next episode.
Yeah, like I wish we had like Katie and Tom mad at each other, and then them like lightly mad at each other, not addressing things, and like we have a fun day, and then next episode we like all blow up at each other. Just so we can like pretend like we had a good bachelorette.
Yeah, just trip. One moment. Yeah.
I like really badly want to block her right-hand man, Carter, but like I can't because he's just like not enough in the show for me. So I am going to block Sandoval outside of his drag because
You mean fucking Sia?
Yeah, his drag persona doesn't get blocked because I do truly like love that environment, but Sandoval sitting at that lunch like crying and like making it all
I forgot about that. Ew,
it was gross. So Sandoval in his own persona blocked, and then
new ick unlocked.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I'm accepting. Oh my god, there's so many. Do I want to do Shay? No, I would never do Shay.
If we got a clip of Shay eating chips, watching
it would
TV,
be Shay.
It'd be Shay.
I'm going to do Ariana.
Nice.
She saw her gators. I think she had like a fun time. She had to deal with the crying, but she bounced back. She saw a little of the grooms, a little of the brides. She was like both places at once. Then she went out. She did a great job of Jordan Tyler. She was cracking me up. I thought she was genius.
Yeah.
And also she's not involved in this screaming.
Oh my God.
She's just...
She does not play that game, and I appreciate it.
Surprisingly, Sheena was out of the drama, and Ariana was right there with her. They were just like
having a discussion about the topic, but she's not like she's going about it the right way. She's like talking with Sandoval about it. I know Sandoval's about to get upset, but like again, she's like, "Hey, this is what's going on. Like he fucked that. I think he fucked that girl."
I'm sorry, her boyfriend's an ick this episode, but for sure, she was killing it.
Okay, I loved Ariana too. I think that was a great pick, so I'm happy you grabbed her. I'm going to give it to Katie. I feel like she's doing a really good job, having a really good day. Like, she's not really letting, like, at the start of this day, not really letting the fight get her down. She got some stripper action. Like, she's turning up on her bachelorette, and, like, when she was at Pat O'Brien's in that courtyard that night, she was like, I'm not having fun. She turned around. She's having fun now. And even when this stuff blows up, like she doesn't get involved. So I'm so happy she didn't get involved. Like when the girls are chatting in her room afterwards, they clearly talk about it, but she's not getting like triggered, rage texting. Like she's cool, collected Katie. So gotta give her credit for that.
Yeah, she's cool. Katie's been cool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. So thank you so much for listening. Do all the things. And with that, forget what you heard and remember where you heard it first.